Hello, good day and welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluwatosin. In case you are coming across this channel for the first time, you're welcome. So in my previous video, I uploaded a tutorial on how to cut that dress you guys saw on your screen, and now this is sewing o'clock. It's sewing video. So if you've not seen that video, you might need to refer back to that video so that you would understand what I'm saying in this particular video. So after pinning my front panels together and pinning my back panels together, I mean for the half cut now. If you've seen my previous video, you would remember that right after cutting this half cut, I pinned it together so that when I get to my machine, I just start sewing straight. So for the pencil parts, the front panel of the pencil part of the dress now, I'm going to attach my frills to my wrapper. I'm going to pin it down before taking it to my machine, and then when I get to my sewing machine, I'm going to fold the upper part of the frills, and then I'm going to fold the lower part of the frills. After that, I'll try to locate the middle of the whole length of the frills. Then I'm going to locate the middle of the wrap. Then I'll proceed to pinning the, when I say locate, I mean I'm going to put a notch at the middle. So I'm going to proceed to pinning the notches together, like the notch on the wrap, and then pin it to the notch on the frills, so that when I'm ready, you know, the frills has access to pleat, so that when I'm making my pleat, one side is not going to be more than the other. So after doing all of this, I proceeded to matching, like you just match the that part my finger is running across. At this point, I've sewn it on the wrap, so I proceeded to matching the part where my finger is running across, and then I folded the top of it because it's not going to be entering the half cut, so I folded the top of it. So this is the half cut now. After joining it together, I arranged it, making sure that right side is facing right side for the front panel, right side is also facing the right side for the back panel. And now it is time for me to bring out my neckline, my shoulder line, my keyhole neckline, and everything I have to bring out. Just make sure that you arrange this properly. Make sure the two nipple to nipple lines are directly facing each other. So the next thing to do is, we definitely know the person's shoulder to under the bust. Our own is 12.5, so I'm just going to put my tape rule at that 12.5 and measure it upward. Then I'm going to measure it downward as well, so that I can know if this half cut is too long or is not too long for what I want, like the way I want it to be. If there's a little excess, I'll just proceed to trimming it out. The next thing is I'm going to be marking out our shoulder line. Our shoulder is 15. I'll divide it by 2, and then I'll add ½ inch sewing allowance because this dress has a sleeve. Then the next is to mark out our armhole. Our armhole is actually 18, but at this point I'm marking out 8 instead of 9. After then, I'm going to mark out a bust divided by 4 and a waist divided by 4, and I'm going to put a mark at that point, of course with 1½ inch sewing allowance. Then I'm going to trim out my armhole at this point and just trim out any excess that's left after measuring the bust and then the waistline. So for the neckline, I'm going to be using neck width of 6 on fold of 2 now gives me 3. So I'll be marking my 3 at the back as well, because once I remove the front from the back, I might not be able to identify the 3 easily, considering that there is zipper allowance at the back. And then the neck depth for the back is 1, so and it's a round neck. I just marked my neck for the back and then I slanted the shoulder. For the front now, remember I said I'm using neck width of 6, that's 3 on fold of 2, and then the neck depth is 2.5. This is also a round neck, so I'm going to be marking out the round neck. After that, I'll proceed to marking out the keyhole neckline now. For that, I have to consider how wide I want the keyhole neckline to be. Do I want my boobs to be exposed? Do I want my cleavage showing, and all of that? And this person wants her cleavage to show very well, the way it is in the video. So I'm going to, the way it is in the original video that I'm replicating. So I'm going to be marking 8 at the middle and then 6½ towards the armhole, and then I'm going to connect those points together and cut it out, just the way we cut out the yoke. After cutting it out, I'll proceed to marking. In this case, I used 6. depending on how revealing I want the bust to be. But since this person already said she wants to reveal, I proceeded to marking 6 and then I trimmed it out. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. So this yoke that I cut out, I'm going to replace it on another fabric. I'll be cutting out another fabric that has excess that can go underneath the rest of the half cut. But after bringing out the yoke, this is what I have. The cup is not standing because, you know, there's no lining, there's no pad, it's just the lace fabric. So that is it. So transferring my yoke to another fabric now, I'm going to be adding excess allowance, like I said, to extend it because it has to be underneath the rest of the half cut. So I'm just going to add extension, like I'll make it excess, and then I'm going to add allowance to the down as well. The only place I'm not going to add allowance is the neckline. Then I'll proceed to cutting it out. After cutting it out, this is what I have. And when I place the rest of the half cuts on top of it now, this is what I have. You guys notice that the half cuts can now like climb on it, and it's beginning to make sense at this point. So the next I'm going to do is I'll fold my neckline. I'm going to fold the keyhole neckline, then I'll fold the neckline on the rest of the half cut as well. And then I'm going to match the yoke on the rest of the half cut. So after folding, this is what after folding all the necklines, you know, we have like 3 necklines now. So after folding the necklines, this is what I have. So I'll proceed to just matching, like I'll secure the yoke underneath the rest of the half cut by just stitching it down. And to do that, to know how much the rest of the half cut is going to climb the yoke now, I have to consider my shoulder to under the bust. Like my shoulder to under the bust is what I'll consider. I'll just put my tape through whatever my shoulder to under the bust number is. I'll put it on underneath the cup. You know, you can easily identify the under the bust from looking at the cup, and just make sure that you are not pushing the yoke inward too much and it's not outward too much, so that the thing just fits and sits properly on your chest when you are done. Hope you guys get what I'm saying. It's that simple. So after being sure of how much you want it to climb each other, just pin it down before taking it to your sewing machine to match it, like to secure it down. So this keyhole neckline is just looking small because the cup is not sitting on its own, because because of the nature of the fabric. If not, it is a lot revealing, a whole lot revealing. So the next I'm going to do is to attach the lower part of the dress to the upper part of the dress. We are still working on the front panel now, and to do that, put a notch at the middle of the half length, put a notch at the middle of the lower part of the dress, and then you sew it down together. For the back panel now, please make sure the zip side is on the zip side and the right side is facing the right side. Just pin it down for the 2 panels for the back, and then you proceed to sewing it down on each other. When you are done doing that, the next thing is to fix our zip. And to fix zip now, put the 2 back panels together. Please make sure right side is facing right side. It is very, very important. And then you pick up your zip and you mark where you want your zip to stop. For me, I'm using almost the whole length of the zip because this person is tall and the zip has to be long so that she can easily wear it without stress. It can enter her body without stress. So after marking where the zip is going to stop, I proceeded to putting my half length on the half length so that I can know the length of the slit, and then I marked 37. Then I'm going to be sewing from where the zip is going to stop down to where the slit is going to start before proceeding to fixing the zip. So this is me when I'm done. At this point I've fixed my zip, and before fixing the zip I folded the back neckline. Definitely, you know, you have to do that before fixing your zip. Then for the slit, I folded the slit as well. I double folded the slit as well. So what is next now is to prepare towards shaping. And to shape your 2 panels together, I mean front and back panels now, we have to attach the wrap first. So bring out your front panel, place the wrap on top of it. Do not forget that the wrong side of the wrap has to be facing the right side of the front panel, and then just secure it down, like match it down the shaping side where the wrap is going to be entering the shaping. Just match it down. After, then proceed to attaching your one of the belts. I made belts that is like 10 inches long, 10 by 2 inches, 10 inches long and like 2 inches wide. And then attach one of the belts to the wrap. Then the second belt is going to be entering the joining. So you're just going to pin it down so that when you get to your sewing machine and you are shaping, you just shape easily. So I'm just trying to tie it here to show you guys what it's going to look like. So when I was done doing that, I joined my shoulder line together. You know, before you can shape, you have to join your shoulder lines together. And now it's time for me to start shaping. To shape now, place the front panel on the right panel. Make sure that the right side are facing each other. I love to start my shaping from the back because with the help of the zip, it helps me to easily identify the middle of my dress. So shaping now, I'm going to shape our bust divided by 4, our waistline divided by 4. There's something I called first hip. I mention it most times when I'm teaching on how to sew a fitted dress, or when I'm making a fitted dress tutorial or a fitted trouser tutorial. First hip is skirt waist. To me, I consider it whenever I'm sewing a fitted style at all, be it trouser or top. So this person's first hip is 36. I divided it by 4, and then the main hip now is 42. I divided it by 4 as well, and then just connect allowance to allowance, and then take your hand straight down. Take your marking straight down, depending on how fitted you want the pencil part of this dress to be. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side when I'm done sewing, when I'm done shaping one side. So keeping that aside, this is the inner of the dress now. It's going to be a tube with 2 straps. So the whole of this fabric is actually 42, but because it's stretchy, I'm going to be using it like that because our hips is 42 and this dress is 42. This piece is 42 inches wide. The length of, so since it's going to be a tube with strap now, the length of the tube now is 26. Then I proceeded to marking shoulder because the strap is going to be attached somewhere that falls on the shoulder. It's going to go towards the armhole very well so that it is not sticking out from the neckline. The neckline is very, very wide, so that it's not sticking out. So when I was done, I just proceeded to marking 2 inches downward at the middle, so that the middle, like the chest, like the cleavage side, can be a little bit lower than the shoulder line side of the tube. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. Then I marked bust divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch sewing allowance, a waist divided by 4 plus sewing allowance, and then a hip line, and then I just proceeded to cutting that out. It is that simple. It's just as if you are cutting a tube with a little bit slanted neckline. So for the strap now, I'm going to be adding 9 inches. That's 18 for front and back, because I need it to be very, very deep so that the inner doesn't stick out when she's wearing the dress, because the neckline, it is a very, very wide neckline, like I said. So this is the kind of sleeve the person wants. And to attach my sleeve now, I'm going to retrim my shoulder to the exact shoulder measurement, to the person's shoulder measurements. I'll retrim my armhole, and then I'm going to measure the armhole to be sure after retrimming. I said it earlier that our armhole is 18 divided by 2 is supposed to give me 9. And when I measure what I have here now, considering that this fabric is stretchy, if your fabric is stretchy, stretch it to like the maximum. What I have is 18. On the other side, so I'll repeat the same thing, and then I'll measure. I'll proceed to fixing my sleeves. It has 2 sleeves for each. And when I'm done, this is what I have. I hope you guys found this video helpful. The owner of this dress gave me a go ahead to try it on. This is me dancing. This dress is actually from my sister, and I don't want my cleavage that revealing. That was I had to use my hand to cover my chest. Thank you so much for sticking with me from the beginning of this video till this point. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you've not. If you have any question, do not hesitate to ask me in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.